Hey, it's 4.4 step 4, Wasps Nest, and I'll read this poem for you. It's a little bit longer. The Wasps Nest is the title. Two aerial tigers, striped in ebony and gold, and resonantly, savagely a hum, have lately come to my mailbox's metal hold and thought with paper and with mud therein to build their insubstantial and their only home. Neither the sore displeasure of the U.S. mail nor all my threats and warnings will avail to turn them from their hummed devotions. And I think they know my strength, can gauge the danger of their work. One blow could crush them in their nest, and I am not their friend. And yet they seem too deeply and too fiercely occupied to bother to attend. Perhaps they sense I'll never deal the blow, for, though not in nor of them, still I think I know what it is like to live in an alien and gigantic universe, a stranger, building fragile citadels of love on the edge of danger. All right, so that is the Wasp's Nest. Let's tackle it. Got some words to define here. Aerial just means happening in the air. So aerial tigers, this is the figurative comparison to the wasps. They're like flying tigers. They are resonantly, savagely a hum. Resonantly means continuing to sound, echoing. Avail means work or help. So these things don't work to turn them from their hummed devotions. And then citadels are fortresses or strongholds. Okay, so then if we go back to our SCSI, the situation here is that wasps have built a nest in the speaker's mailbox, and now the speaker must decide what to do about them, but not before contemplating and empathizing with them. So the situation is a little bit more narrative-like in this poem. It feels a little bit more like a story, like we have a place, we have a thing, we have a person, you know. Let's talk about the person. Well, we do have the wasps, which really are a kind of character or characters in the piece, and then we have the speaker. The speaker doesn't want the wasps there, but the speaker says he's not ready to, and thinks maybe he never will, although that's hard to believe, deal the final blow. He'll never knock the wasp's nest out of his mailbox. It's doubtful it'll stay, though, right? I mean, the mailman eventually, or the mail carrier eventually is going to knock it out of there if nobody else does. So then we've got the action. Well, at first the wasps are flying, humming. They have recently built the nest with paper and with mud. We have the U.S. mail has shown sore displeasure. Haha, little punny there. So they're displeased. But the soreness may be a double reference, right? Both they're angry, but then maybe also they've been stung by the wasps. By the way, ever been stung by a wasp? Good Lord, I was stung last summer. It hurt for like 2 months. It hurt for a month, and then it itched for another one. It was the worst thing ever. Okay, that was an aside. I'm sorry. Maybe they know the speaker will never deal the blow. Oh, before that, maybe they know the danger, but they're too fiercely occupied in line 22 to do anything about the situation. So he's talking about this as if they are, he's giving them a lot of human characteristics, personifying them certainly to a large extent. And they're too busy to deal with the problem. Well, the truth is the wasp is doing what the wasp is meant to do. It builds its nest and it, doesn't live very long. And so, he's giving it some characteristics that are sort of above and beyond what an actual wasp would have. Okay, maybe they know the speaker will never deal the blow because he knows what it is like to be in that state of danger. That's the action. Okay, so then if we go back to the second S, which is style, and we're focusing just on form and structure, let's look at some interesting things here. First, the first thing you notice is all of the irregularly lengthed lines. Am I right? Some are short, some are longer, some are quite long, some are super short, and there doesn't seem to be a clear pattern. Could that mirror the activities of a wasp, both in their flight patterns, but also in that we're not really certain why they do what they do when they're doing it? There's a sort of a lack of understanding on our part, right? It seems random what they do, or it seems to not have a pattern. Maybe there is one, but we can't tease it out. So does that connect? Is that mirrored here in the form? What do you think? I think that works pretty well. Other things to look at. Did you notice all the rhyme as I was reading? There is actually quite a lot of rhyme in this poem, but it's hard to find without reading it out loud. And so this is a perfect example of why we have to read poetry out loud. Otherwise, we wouldn't find the rhyme, because tigers doesn't rhyme with gold or a hum. Come, maybe you'd find that one. Hold rhymes with gold. But other rhymes are happening inside the lines and in places where you don't expect them. So when you read it out loud, watch for those. The humor and the tone is interesting, but we're not dealing with that. We're talking form and structure right now. What about sentence lengths? The first sentence is 9 lines long. That's an awfully long sentence for a poem. Look at the rest of the sentences. Look at the colons and semicolons. What is the effect of the colon in line 18 and the semicolon in line 20? Do they work with anything else that's going on in the poem? Are there any sentence structures that are repeated? So those would be some various things to look at in the Wasps Nest. And I'm just going to stop there. Do what you can with this poem. I want to open it up a little bit more to you guys. But those are things to look at, the things that I've mentioned, the lack of pattern in line lengths and the fact that they're so irregular. The long, how do we say it? The sentences that stretch over several lines. The rhyme. And I think that's all I've got for you. All right, take it easy.